গুড মর্নিং স্যার।
বাই দ্য ওয়ে, বৈশাখী, তুই আগের দিন দেখলি ওটা?
দেখেছি। ওটা না মানে দেখার পরে এটাই বুঝলাম যে আমাকে একবার প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে জিনিসটা, তাহলে হবে।
একবার হাতে করে দেখতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? অসুবিধা নেই। I will be going through the previous class topics once again. Okay, a little bit, মানে একটুখানি ব্রড ওয়েতে আমি যাব, and after that we will move forward with our regular class. Okay, all right.
স্যার একটা জিনিস স্যার, আজকে একটু থিওরি কি আছে ওটা পড়াবেন, তাহলে মানে নেক্সট দিন থেকে আমরা ওখানে যেতাম, তাহলে প্র্যাকটিক্যালটাও খাট করলে ভালো হতো।
Does not have anything called theory. Everything is practical. Everything is practical. No theory at all. ওটাই হচ্ছে প্রবলেম, এখানে থিওরি নেই কিছু। হ্যাঁ, বাড়িতে তোদের ক্রিয়েট হয়ে যাবে, এখানে হচ্ছিল না। বাড়িতে ক্রিয়েট হয়ে যাবে। এক্স্যাক্টলি আজ আমি দেখিয়ে দেবো আমরা। হ্যাঁ, এক্স্যাক্টলি। অলরাইট, তো লেট মি শেয়ার মাই স্ক্রিন ফার্স্ট। রেকমেন্ড করবো যে তুই একটা কাজ করতে পারিস, তুই খাতায় নোট করে নিতে পারিস, বা অর ইউ ক্যান রেকর্ড দ্য কমপ্লিট সেশন।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি সবই নোট করা আছে। আগের দিন আপনি খুবই ফাস্ট বলেছিলেন, ওগুলো কপি করা একটু সময় পাইনি আমি।
কিছু করার নেই, কি করবো, তোদেরকে এই টাইমের মধ্যে শেষ করতে হবে রে, ওটাই, আর কিছু না। তাহলে আমার কোনো চাপ নেই, আমি আস্তে আস্তে নিয়ে যেতে পারি। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, দেখ আমি আরেকবার একটুখানি লাস্ট ক্লাসে টপিক কয়টা আমি বলে দিই, দেন আই উইল মুভ ফরওয়ার্ড। ওকে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, কোনটা মেটাসপ্লয়েটেবল 2 জাস্ট স্ক্যান করার জন্য, ওটা আমি আসো পরে আবার, ঠিক আছে? এখন আপাতত থাক, ডিলিটও করে দিতে পারি, অসুবিধা নেই। অলরাইট, সো আই হোপ দ্য স্ক্রিন ইজ ভিজিবল গাইস। স্ক্রিন ভিজিবল তো? ও আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ, তো দেখটা রাইট।
কিন্তু আজকে দরকারি বডি আছে।
আসুন,
সব রেকর্ডিং করলে আবার রেকর্ডিং পেয়েছে।
হ্যাঁ, তুই রেকর্ড করে নে। ও আচ্ছা, তো স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করলে বেশি সুবিধা হয়।
না, রেকর্ডিং যদি আপনি করে নেন তাহলে
রেকর্ডিং আমি করতে পারবো না, তোরা ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি করতে পারিস।
এর তো করে এর তো শেয়ার করতে
দেখা যাচ্ছে? Okay, so today also I will be considering Metasploitable 2 once again, just to take as a victim. You guys can consider any IP address as a victim. তোরা যে কোনো একটা IP address ধরে তারা victim হিসেবে চুজ করে নিতে পারিস, যাকে তোরা বেসিক্যালি স্ক্যান করবি। So these IP addresses whom you are going to target and gonna perform the scan on. Okay, so just a moment. Let me see if I have Metasploitable. Yes, I do have. So I'm gonna start it up over here. Acha, I'm using VMware, guys. Don't worry, you guys can use the same thing in VirtualBox as well. All right. Okay. ঠিক আছে, আমাদের ডিলিট করে দিয়েছি Metasploitable 2. Okay, not an issue. হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, আর তা আছে কি দেখছি, মনে হচ্ছে নেই। No, ঠিক আছে, it's okay, not an issue. All right. So here we are inside our Kali. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. Okay, fine. Right. So first of all, we are gonna go through Nmap a little bit more, okay, and then we will move towards NES as well, right? But before going into Nmap, last class we have already seen how to discover the IP addresses within the same network, right? One of the tool was by using Net Discover, okay. So Net Discover is one of the tool through which you can utilize to find out the IP addresses within the same network, all right? Now to perform Net Discover scan, what we can do, we can first of all become a root user, okay. Sudo su, you become a root user first, okay, give the password, and then you can run net discover, okay, and you can actually give the interface name. Interface name means if you do an ifconfig command over here, you will find your interface name where you have your IP address, okay. Now, as you can see, we do have another interface which is a loopback interface, and we don't have the IP address. ये तो loopback वाला IP address है, right? For that reason, यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We will be choosing the 8080 where we have the normal IP address over here, right? So what we can do, we can just type net discover -i 8080, okay? And since this is the IP address that you have got, and the net mask is 255.255.255.0, if you guys remember, net mask अगर मेरा ये है तो CIR value कितना होगा? /24, right? Because ये कितने /24 मतलब क्या है? The CIR value represents the number of ones in the subnet mask, right? तो यहाँ पे देखो कितने सारे 1 है, 8, right? 8 into 3, 24. That means it is /24, right? Nonetheless, you can just give 192.168. Yeah, correct. /r, that is the range 192.168. 10.0/24, okay? So what this is going to do, this is going to scan the complete network of live IP addresses. So once I hit enter, okay, you get to know all the different IP addresses connected within the same network, right? Along with their MAC addresses, correct? Just close this. বোঝা গেছে বৈশাখী এটা clear তো?
হ্যাঁ sir.
Fine. Now we can basically perform the same task by using a tool, right? So let's go back here. Yes, using Python, we can do that. Yeah. So we can do that actually. So let me just make a directory here. So if I go to tools, I go to tool. Now we can basically create a Python tool for using this same stuff. So Python में करने के लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We'll just create a file over here. So I'm just gonna create a file. Say nano find.py. .py is the extension for your Python. And in here we are just gonna write 3 lines of code. So import scapy.all as scapy. Okay. And then we can take a user input over here. We are taking normal user input. Enter the IP address range. Okay. And then what we can do, we can just say scapy.arping and pass on the values there, right? So that means what? First of all, we are importing the module called scapy, and after that we are taking an input from the user, and then we are basically doing the arping scan. Okay, if you guys do not have any idea about Python, then don't worry, you can just write these 3 lines of code and this is gonna work. All right, so I'm gonna save this and exit it. Once that has been done, we can go ahead and run this with a sudo permission, sudo python3 find.py. Now once this run, we can give the IP address range over here, right? So 192.168 10.0/24, and it's going to perform the scanning, right? And here we have the live IP addresses list, right? Pretty simple. All right, fine. So in that way, we can basically perform normal, scanning the network and check out which are the live IP addresses within the same network, right? Now, what we are going to do, we are going to move ahead and perform Nmap scan on different IP addresses, right? So let's take a simple public IP address. I'm not sure whether I have any public IP address, just keep it. So you guys can try it out in any IP addresses that you guys want, okay? Scanning is not a problem, but if you perform an attack, that is a problem, okay? Scanning is not a problem. So what we will do, since we have started our discussion with Nmap and we have already seen all port scan in Nmap, right? আচ্ছা বৈশাখী এতটা ক্লিয়ার তো? নেট ডিসকভার বোঝা গেছে, ফাইন্ডিং আউট দি আইপি অ্যাড্রেসেস? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, so I will move on. পাইথন না, ওটার জন্য আমি বললাম উইন্ডোজে তোমাকে যেটা করতে হবে, WinPickup বলে একটা টুল হয়, সেটা নামাতে হবে। After installing that, then it will run. And you have to also import Scapy. pip install Scapy. npcap হ্যাঁ, npcap হবে। তোমার pip install Scapy আগে করতে হবে, তারপর you can run. হ্যাঁ, same. All right. So we have already seen the port scan, right? We have already seen nmap -p right? All port scan. We have seen -p1, 2 and the range, right? We have seen range scan, right? We have seen service scan. Have we? Service scan we have seen, right? We have already seen no ping scan. Have we? -pn, I think we haven't, right? Fine. So we will start with this one. Now, say for example, if we are scanning a particular IP address, say whatever, I'm just giving a random public IP address. I don't know whether this exists or not. So let's check. So I'm just performing a random IP address scan on a particular public IP address. So we can see port 80 and 443 is running on this particular public IP address. Maybe there is a website that is running over here. Right now, sometimes it may happen that you may not get a proper result out here, right? Sometimes it may happen that it is showing you that all the 1,000 ports are scanned, but 1,000 ports are blocked, right? So in that situation, it may be that there is some kind of a ACL being configured. That means access control list is being configured in the router, which will basically prevent any kind of pinging. ओके तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि nmap जब भी कोई आईपी एड्रेस को डिस्कवर करता है कि ये आईपी एड्रेस अलाइव है या नहीं, सो व्हाट इट डज, इट सेंड्स आईसीएमपी पैकेट्स और पिंग रिक्वेस्ट। पिंग मतलब जैसे हम लोग करते हैं ना, पिंग google.com, so basically what is happening, we are sending ICMP packets, that is internet communication controlled message protocol, okay? ICMP packets. Now ICMP packets में क्या होता है, these are your ping packet, nothing else, okay? ICMP packet is your echo and echo reply. ये जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं ये echo कर रहे हैं, and ये जो मेरे को response आ रहा है, this is my echo reply, okay? So जब भी हम लोग ping करते हैं, that is ICMP packets. Now nmap basically क्या करता है कि जब वो scan करता है, it basically tries to check whether the IP address is live or not by sending these kind of ping requests. Okay, now sometimes it may happen that the firewall is configured in such a way that it is going to drop out all the ping requests, right? सारे के सारे ICMP packet वो drop कर देगा। तो under that situation, what we can do, we can basically perform an -pn scan, that is no ping scan. No ping scan का मतलब है कि like nmap is not going to perform any kind of checking कि whether the host is live or not. It is directly going to start the scan. Okay, it will consider that the host is alive. As a result of which, it is not going to send any kind of ICMP packet to the IP address. So if we perform -pn 13.33.1.6 whatever, okay, so it is going to send packets without pinging the IP address. Okay, so वो पहले ping नहीं करेगा. Okay, same results as we get, right? But result में कोई difference नहीं आएगा. But the thing is, like, if you do not get any kind of an output from normal scanning, then you can perform this -pn scan to be sure about it. Right? Okay.
The version of the service, right?
Yes, you can basically do the same stuff. Say -pn मैंने डाल दिया and -sv to check the version of the service that is running over there, right? एक साथ, and you can give the IP address whatever. Okay. So I'm gonna stop this one. So you can basically perform such scan, which is a no ping scan. It is not going to send any ICMP packet. Okay. Okay, fine. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े। ऑलराइट, next is nmap. Now we have already seen -p in scan. Let's take a look at -st scan. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at first of all SS scan. Okay, which is basically means stealth scan. Okay, so मैं यहाँ पे कोई भी एक scanning मैं यहाँ पे चला रहा हूँ. Results will be same, but the working, the way it is trying to find out the the IP or the way it is trying to find out the open ports is going to be different. Okay, let's take a look at -pn. देखो यहाँ पे कोई result मेरे को नहीं आया है, बोल रहा है सारे के सारे filtered है. I don't know whether it is inside a firewall or not. Let's just try it out. होस्टिस अब बताया ना, तो शायद ये पिंग कर चुका है, तो पिंग करने के बाद इसको रिस्पांस नहीं आया होगा, इसलिए यहाँ पे ऐसा स्कैन मेरे को दिखा रहा है, स्कैन रिजल्ट्स मेरे को दिखा रहा है, राइट। एनीवे, नाउ लेट अस टेक अ लुक एट द स्टेल्थ स्कैन, लाइक हाउ द स्टेल्थ स्कैन हैपेंस, ओके, एंड व्हाई दिस ऑप्शन इज देयर इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस। I hope all of you guys remember the TCP three-way handshake because वो अभी यहाँ पे काम में आने वाला है, ठीक है। देखो, so basically what happens whenever Nmap performs a normal scan, कोई भी scan हो, say Nmap 192 something I'm doing, by default it is gonna perform an -stealth scan, -ss scan, okay, by default stealth scan, okay। Now why it is called stealth scan और इसका मतलब क्या है वो भी हम लोग देखते हैं। तो स्टेल्थ स्कैन में क्या होता है, इफ यू गाइस रिमेंबर द टीसीपी थ्री वे हैंडशेक, टीसीपी थ्री वे हैंडशेक में क्या होता, यू सेंड अ SYN पैकेट, राइट, you get a response of SYN-ACK flag, right, and finally you send an ACK flag. That was your TCP three-way handshake, right? Now, as we all know that after completion of TCP three-way handshake, then only the TCP communication can begin, right? Now in stealth scan, what is going to happen? You are going to send a SYN scan. You are going to first of all send a SYN flag, okay? Now the server is going to respond you with a SYN plus ACK flag, but at the end you are not going to send an ACK. Instead, you are going to send a RST packet. Sorry, RST, FIN flag. Okay, my mistake. You're going to send a FIN flag. So instead of sending an ACK flag, you are going to send an FIN flag. Okay, that means what? TCP three-way handshake is not going to happen. Got it? Right? Now what is going to happen over here is, say अगर मैं वहाँ पे finish flag यहाँ पे send कर रहा हूँ, if the port is closed, then if the port is open, then obviously this is going to drop it out because it's a FIN flag, nothing to do with it, right? But if it's a closed port, then it is going to send you an RST flag in response, okay, through which we can find out whether the port is open or not. So that is your basically a stealth scan. Now यहाँ पे एक चीज देखो, SYN is going there, SYN-ACK is coming back, and then you are sending FIN once again. All right. So it is also known as a half open scan. Half open scan because the complete TCP three-way handshake is not happening over here. All right. So that is your stealth scan. Now, इसको stealth scan इसलिए कहा जाता है because some of the firewalls are configured in such a way that they are going to register you only after you have performed complete TCP three-way handshake. Okay, now since यहाँ पे TCP three-way handshake completely नहीं हो रहा है, as a result of which you may not get registered in the firewall. Okay, and अगर मेरे backend में कुछ चल रहा होगा, you will also figure out कि क्या चल रहा है and all without getting logged into the firewall or anything like that. Right? For that reason, it is called a stealth scan. By default, Nmap is gonna perform the stealth scan. Okay, so even if you are giving Nmap without any option, if you are giving like that, then by default it's gonna perform stealth scan. Okay, अगर तुम अलग से इसको -ss दे रहे हो, then that is a different thing because हम लोग आ रहे हैं, because हम लोग combine करते हैं काफी सारे options. For that reason, you have this option to give. All right, is it clear, guys? Everyone, বোঝা গেছে সবাই? Guys, am I audible? Guys, am I audible? सुनाई दे रहा है ना सबको? Okay, तो यहाँ तक clear है? Okay, so we can perform the stealth scan right over here. So let's say if I do something like nmap -ss and you can give any IP address, say 14.0.99.1, whatever be the IP address, I don't know, it's a public IP address. So here we have the stealth scan. All right, now by default इसका सारा का सारा ports बंद है. So let's check some other IP address. Okay, as we can see, 80 and 443s are open, right? Now that's it, your stealth scan. Now, if you have not given this option, by default, it is going to take out that scan only. Okay, by default, वो stealth scan ही करेगा. Okay. CloudFront में चल रहा है ये. As you can see, sync stealth scan timing. Okay. अगर ये चलते वक्त मैं इस पे enter मारता, wait, let me just run this once again and let me hit enter. You can see sync stealth scan timing. By default, it is going to take the sync stealth scan. Okay. All right. Now, apart from -ss, we also have -st, which is a TCP scan. TCP scans मतलब कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि some ports may not respond you upon performing stealth scan. Okay, for that you have TCP scan. TCP scan मतलब complete three-way handshake is gonna happen. Just the opposite of your stealth scan. It is gonna perform the complete TCP three-way handshake, and then it is gonna tell you whether the port is open or not. Okay, so we can perform such a scan. Simple -st, which will give you the TCP scan. Okay, guys, no need to write all this stuff. ये सारे के सारे चीजें available है. कहाँ से? All you can do is just type nmap and hit enter. You can see all these options are there. Okay, so no need to write. Just understand what is happening in the background. Okay, कौन सा ऑप्शन क्या करता है, यहाँ पे सारा कुछ यहाँ पे रहेगा. Okay, सारे options we are not going to discuss today because some of them are not useful nowadays and some of them are not required at this point of time. So don't worry. तो जितना भी मैं यहाँ पे options discuss करता जा रहा हूँ, these are important. Okay, and I will be giving you guys a lab to solve as well, जिससे you guys can practice, जहाँ पे तुम लोग practice कर सकते हो. ठीक है? Fine. We can perform a TCP scan over here. Now, since we have performed a TCP scan, obviously we can also perform a UDP scan as well, right? So UDP scan भी हम लोग यहाँ पे काम कर सकते हैं. UDP scan भी हम लोग यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं. Now UDP scan में क्या हुआ? It is gonna find out all the UDP ports, right? Now the way UDP gets discovered is a little bit tricky over here because TCP में क्या होता है कि you get a response back, right? कि whether the port is open or not, because TCP is a reliable communication, but you don't get such a facility in UDP, right? Because it is not your reliable scan first of all, and you may not get any kind of response back, right? So what does nmap does is nmap थोड़ा सा मतलब like क्या बोले कि like थोड़ा सा वो तुक्का के ऊपर जीता है, ठीक है? Like it will just think that some ports are closed, some ports are open. How? It is going to send a packet, UDP packets. Okay, now these packets are these are general UDP packets without any kind of data. Okay, these are general UDP packets. Now say there are certain port number which are famous, okay, which are known port numbers for UDP. Say 161, on which we run SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. Say for example port number 53, on which we run DNS, which is UDP. Okay, say for example 512, जिसके ऊपर हम लोग RIP चलाते हैं UDP में. Okay, now these are some of the known port numbers, okay, where certain services are running. ये confirm है कि ये सारे के सारे सर्विस यहीं पे रन करेंगे, right? सारे के सारे confirm है यहीं पे रन करेंगे. Now nmap बाकी ports के लिए क्या करता है? It sends a generalized UDP packet, right? Now what will happen? Now UDP में since ये generalized packet है, he may get a response, he may not get a response, depend. Okay, now in most of the cases it is not going to get any kind of a response. Okay, now if it is not getting any kind of a response, by default it will consider that the port is closed. Okay, for known port numbers like 161, 53, it is going to send protocol specific packets. प्रोटोकॉल स्पेसिफिक पैकेट मतलब नॉर्मल यूडीपी तो सेंड किया है, उसके साथ डेटा वाले पार्ट में इट विल सेंड एसएनएमपी प्रोटोकॉल, जो चीज समझता है या फिर एसएनएमपी प्रोटोकॉल के साथ कम्युनिकेशन जिस हिसाब से होता है वैसा एक इनिशियल पैकेट उसको सेंड करता है ऑन 161. इफ ही गेट्स अ रिस्पांस बैक, হ্যাঁ বল
স্যার আগেরটা একবার রিপিট করুন না যেটা বললেন.
কোনটা এইটা
first এটা.
Okay, so first what happens, first of all nmap is going to send a generalized UDP packet. Okay, একটা general UDP packet send করে যার মধ্যে UDP header থাকবে, where you will have UDP header but there is no data in it. Okay, now if the ports are open, ठीक है, it may get a response back or it may not get a response back. Now there is a problem over here. ऐसा हो सकता है कि पोर्ट ओपन है एंड रिस्पांस नहीं आ रहा है. अंडर दैट सिचुएशन nmap is going to tell you that it is closed. Okay, so that is one problem for for Nmap doing UDP scanning, right? But nonetheless, Nmap इसको कैसे ठीक करता है? Nmap क्या करता है? Nmap is gonna send multiple requests to the same ports. बार-बार request send करेगा just to check whether any response is coming or not. अगर एक भी response मिल जाता है, it will consider it open. अगर नहीं मिलता है, after many tries, then it is gonna mark it as closed. All right. For that reason, now this is going to happen for each and every port numbers, okay, except for the one which are well known, port numbers, okay, বুঝা যাচ্ছে? So normal ports এর জন্য কি করছে, normal UDP packet পাঠাচ্ছে. In most of the cases what will happen, it is not going to get any kind of response. So जब response नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि ये UDP है, it is not going to give you any kind of response, so it is going to drop it, okay, and Nmap considers ki port closed hai, right? Now what will happen, Nmap is going to send multiple connections, multiple communication will be sent, UDP ports will be,
Not getting that
right,
result.
yes. Now what will happen, agar ek bhi response mil gaya, then it will consider that yes, the port is open, otherwise it is going to consider the port is closed. All right. Now this is applicable for generalized port number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 port number 1, port number 2, port number 3, port number 4, all this. जब वो known ports number पे आएगा, say 161, okay, this is a known port number, okay, जहाँ पे इसको मालूम है कि SNMP service चलेगा. In that situation, what is going to happen? It is going to send SNMP specific UDP packets, okay. Now SNMP specific UDP packets अगर वो send कर रहा है, after sending it multiple times, SNMP is going to reply back. Right. Now obviously this is not as reliable as your TCP जहाँ पे हर एक कम्युनिकेशन का तुमको रिस्पॉन्स आता है. UDP में क्या होता है कि लाइक हर एक कम्युनिकेशन का नहीं आएगा, जो कम्युनिकेशन वहां पे पहुंचेगा, सही से पहुंचा तब जाकर के रिस्पॉन्स आता है, राइट. तो व्हाट इज गोना हैपन, सो SNMP जैसे रिस्पॉन्स करेगा, इट विल कंसीडर दैट यस SNMP इज ओपन. गॉट इट? বোঝা গেছে? বৈশাখী বুঝতে পেরেছিস এই জায়গাটা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Clear to? Okay. So that is how basically UDP scan works. All right. So देखो यहाँ पे मैंने UDP scan के लिए डाला है, and it is still going on. It takes huge amount of time. देखो यहाँ पे 7 मिनट दिखा रहा है, ठीक है, 50% हुआ है. Okay. It is going to take huge amount of time because वही same चीज बार बार एक ही पोर्ट को वो स्कैन करता हुआ जा रहा है, multiple tries to figure out whether the port is open or not. For that reason, it will take much amount of time. Okay.
So after knowing all the open ports, how should we initiate the next step?
Next step will be depending upon कि like अब देखो पोर्ट कौन से ओपन है वो पहले तुमको देखना पड़ेगा. वर्जन क्या क्या चल रहा है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. एक्सप्लॉइट्स क्या क्या है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. विल कम. ओके, वंस द स्कैनिंग पार्ट इज ओवर, वी विल मूव अलोंग विद इट. स्कैन कर लिया, उसके बाद क्या करना है, विल कम. कैसे एक चीज को अप्रोच करोगे वो भी मैं आऊंगा इन टाइम, डोंट वरी, राइट. So it is going to take huge amount of time, and nonetheless काफी टाइम लेने के बाद भी शायद ये बोल सकता है कि कुछ भी नहीं मिला, ठीक है. As you can see, it will take near about 7 minutes. So I'm going to just stop it over here. Same thing you can done with -su. Say UDP है, तुमको एक single port number scan करना है 161. I'm going to check whether SNMP is running on this IP address 11.4. You can see that it is open filtered. Open filtered means either it is open or it is behind a firewall. Okay. Now there are situations where Nmap is unable to decide whether the port number is open or not. Right. So in that situation, it is going to give you open/filtered. It generally happens in case of UDP. Okay.
In the command SS there.
Which one? SS? SS is not going to work for UDP. SS तो तुम्हारा TCP/3 हैंडशेक में हो रहा है, राइट. वो तो TCP स्कैन में आएगा, UDP में नहीं आएगा. गॉट इट? इसके पहले जो हम लोग ने ST देखा, SS देखा, ठीक है, -PN will work over here because ICMP is a separate protocol altogether. Okay. Apart from that, no other scan is gonna work over here. Like because बाकी जितने भी options हैं सारे के सारे TCP based options हैं. This is your UDP, so it is different, right? So as you can see, SNMP service is unable to figure out whether SNMP is on or not. In most of the situation, we consider it to be open. I think SNMP is open on this IP address, and then we move forward with this with the SNMP enumeration and all. Right? वो सारे के सारे चीज इस कोर्स में नहीं है, unfortunately. SNMP enumeration and all. Lab example भी नहीं है तुम लोग का. वो तुम लोग का आएगा काफी बाद में. Like if you already know ethical hacking, after that comes network penetration testing. In that you will find SNMP. How you can perform SNMP scanning, how you can do SNMP enumeration.
What is this service?
SNMP सर्विस, ओके
Software engineering.
ठीक है, चलो मैं तुम लोग को बता देता हूँ SNMP क्या है, ठीक है। इट इज जस्ट एन ओवरव्यू गाइस। देखो नाउ SNMP क्या होता है? SNMP इज योर सिंपल नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोटोकॉल, ओके। मैं यहाँ पे लिख नहीं रहा हूँ, सिंपल नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोटोकॉल। एज द नेम सजेस्ट्स, इट विल हेल्प यू टू मैनेज डिफरेंट डिवाइसेस। नाउ हाउ दिस वर्क्स, इसको देखने से पहले देख लेते हैं कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है एंड ये किस प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन है, वो पहले देख लेते हैं। तो आई थिंक यू गाइस विल अंडरस्टैंड इट मच बेटर। लेट्स कंसीडर a situation where you have a चलो एक काम करते हैं, लेट्स हैव अ सिचुएशन वेयर यू हैव मल्टीपल सर्वर्स, okay, you own a data center and there are multiple servers in there, okay, near about 200 servers are there, let's consider, okay, huge number of devices, okay। now ये जो servers है ये कोई अलमारी नहीं होते है ना, तो ये होते क्या एक्चुअली? बेसिकली servers are what? ये जो तुम लोग देखते हो जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं servers, they are basically called racks actually, and in each of this rack there will be multiple systems जो तुम लोग कंप्यूटर घर में यूज करते हो, वही यहाँ पे horizontally लेटाए जाते हैं, right? Multiple systems, okay। now it depends on the racks कि वो how many systems it can hold। जैसे देखो यहाँ पे 1 2 3 4 5 5 systems it can hold। now all these systems are very costly systems, ठीक है। now they may have workstation based system, जैसे यहाँ पे शायद 2 प्रोसेसर होंगे, okay, 2 processors will be there, okay, in a single motherboard, maybe 128 gigs of RAM in a single piece, in a single system, okay, maybe they will have maybe they will have like 10 terabytes of SSD in a single system, okay। now multiply this 5 times, okay, this will become a single rack। now you can imagine if you have 200 of these things, then how many processors do you have? now you can see एक में 10 है, so you have near about almost 20,000 processors there, right? or maybe more।
सर एक क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ बोलो।
सर बोल रहा हूँ कि जो VPS होता है, तो VPS में तो वर्चुअल कंप्यूटर रहता है, विंडो रहता है, तो उसके लिए भी सेम ऐसे रैक्स में सिस्टम रहता है, एक अलग VPS के लिए एक अलग कंप्यूटर, या फिर एक ही सिस्टम में बहुत सारे VPS होता है?
इट डिपेंड्स कि VPS का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है। अगर VPS का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन दो CPU है, ठीक है, एंड सम अमाउंट ऑफ RAM, सम अमाउंट ऑफ SSD, देन बेसिकली एक ही रैक के अंदर इसके अंदर एक VPS आराम से आ जाएगा। multiple VPSs can be held in this particular system। as you can see, each of these systems are pretty much powerful। VPS are just like your VMware or VirtualBox, nothing else, जहाँ पे RDP configured है।
Okay।
part of another computer, physical computer।
yes, ये एक्चुअली जैसे VMware में हम लोग कर रहे हैं ना, we are virtualizing our hardware, same thing is going to happen over there, okay। what they will do, they will use any kind of virtualization solution, जिसके थ्रू से क्या होगा, they will virtualize their hardware and they will leverage it to you।
just like AWS and
एकदम same stuff, all right। now you can imagine so many devices are there, so many processors are there, near about 20,000 processors are there, right? now if you say for example you are the system admin over here, okay। now किसी वजह से you can see that अब देखो जहाँ पे इतने सारे सर्वर्स होते हैं ना, that room is temperature controlled, okay, because so many servers are there will be a cooler, मतलब पूरे रूम में तुम्हारा ये लगा हुआ रहता है, जैसे हम लोग के सिस्टम में देखते हैं ना, पंखा लगा हुआ है, कूलिंग सिस्टम। it may happen that the whole room is water cooled मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि पानी है रूम के अंदर, पानी ऐसा नहीं है, उसका जो टेम्परेचर है निकाल करके बाहर फेंका जाता है एंड दे आर कूल्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ एकदम -डिग्री टेम्परेचर वाटर में, ठीक है, उसके थ्रू से कूलिंग किया जाता है। तो वो सर्वर कूलेंट है, वो अलग चीज है, मैं उसमें नहीं जा रहा हूँ कि वो कैसे कूलिंग होता है। एनीवे, say for some reason you can see that the temperature is increasing of the room, right? or maybe some of the servers are having increased temperature, right? now अगर ये temperature एक threshold value के ऊपर जाएगा, you can imagine that it may blow up, right? इतना सारा लोड आ रहा है, it may blow up। now how will you find out कि like 200 सर्वर्स में से कौन से पर्टिकुलर रैक में क्या प्रॉब्लम है जिसकी वजह से टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज कर रहा है? you get the idea? तो you have to near about 1 2 3 4 5 है ना, तो 200 into 5 near about It is 1,000 such racks you need to search for any kind of problem. Not possible for you, right? Not only that, say for example इन इतने सारे racks में से किसी एक प्रोसेसर में तो एक कॉकरोच घुस गया, ठीक है, और उसका पंखा घूमना बंद हो गया. The processor is heating up. Now how are you going to figure it out? तुमको कहाँ से मालूम चलेगा कि कहाँ पे कॉकरोच घुसा है?
एडमिन पीसी नहीं है, सारा कंप्यूटर को कंट्रोल
अलग अलग होगा ना. You get my idea. सारा कंप्यूटर का कंट्रोल हो भी गया, how will you get the resources? तुमको देखेगा कंप्यूटर कनेक्टेड है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. How what about the hardware resources? क्या क्या वो सही से चल रहा है कि नहीं, उनका टेम्परेचर क्या है, ये क्या है, तुमको ये सब कैसे मालूम चलेगा? Getting my point? Connected रहेगा, ठीक है, but still you will not get the information about the hardware, right? या फिर any kind of service that has crashed, or any kind of system any kind of service जो कि नहीं चल रहा है या फिर क्रैश कर गया, ठीक है, कोई एक्सटर्नल सर्विस चल रहा है, कोई हैकर अटैक कर रहा है, how will you know? Right? Now to do that, you have SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. What this will do, it basically has MIB, ये Men in Black नहीं है, and you have agents. Okay, you have MIB and you have agents. MIB Men in Black नहीं है. MIB क्या है? MIB is a set of questions. Okay, like say जब भी तुम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हो, डॉक्टर तुमको पूछता है ना कि like कैसे हो, कहाँ पे दर्द हो रहा है, ज़्यादा दर्द हो रहा है, कब से हो रहा है. What are these questions? These questions are just to figure out your physical condition at that point of time, right? Same thing goes over here. Yes, is MIB जो है वो centralized रहता है हर एक device में. It will all time run. So what is going to happen? It is all time. It is going to ask this kind of question: what is your threshold value? What is your frequency? What is your RPM of your fan? What is the speed of your RAM? Okay, which services are running? All this stuff. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि वो जाके ऐसे ही मैनुअली क्वेश्चन पूछता है, ऐसा नहीं है, ऑब्वियसली प्रीडिफाइंड. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज गोना हैपन? ये एजेंट्स क्या है? एजेंट्स आर दीस डिवाइसेस. ये एक सर्वर्स के अंदर में जितने भी डिवाइसेस हैं, these will be called agents. Anyone who is participating in SNMP will be called an agent. Okay, now a system admin can basically configure what we call as a trap. Okay, trap क्या है? Trap basically कुछ नहीं है, threshold values है. से मैंने यहाँ पे दे दिया कि प्रोसेसर का टेम्परेचर 80 डिग्री के ऊपर नहीं जाना चाहिए, तो इट्स अ थ्रेशोल्ड वैल्यू. सो व्हेनेवर एनी ऑफ दिस डिवाइसेस, एनीवेयर एनी ऑफ दिस डिवाइसेस, कोई भी प्रोसेसर का टेम्परेचर 80 डिग्री के ऊपर जा रहा है, से 81 डिग्री हो गया, इमीडिएटली एन अलर्ट विल बी सेंड टू द सिस्टम एडमिन कि इतने नंबर सर्वर का, इतने नंबर प्रोसेसर में ये टेम्परेचर आया है, इंस्टेंट. ओके, कहीं भी पंखा घूमना बंद हो गया, आरपीएम 0 पे पहुंच गया, यू हैव अ थ्रेशोल्ड वैल्यू कि आरपीएम इससे नहीं घटना चाहिए. Immediately you get an alert कि इस वाले प्रोसेसर में, इस वाले में पूरा ये पंखा घूमना बंद हो गया. You have to fix it manually. पंखा घूमना बंद हो जाएगा, तुमको मैनुअली जाना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. Okay, so you get the idea. So that can be achieved with the help of SNMP. Now why hackers basically focus on SNMP? हैकर का ये बहुत अच्छा चीज है. You know why? किसी ने मिस्टर रोबोट देखा है? वेब सीरीज? क्या यार तुम लोग वेब सीरीज कुछ नहीं देखते हो क्या? ओके, वहां पे देखना इस पर्टिकुलर प्रोटोकॉल का बहुत अच्छा यूजेज किया गया है, ठीक है. आई विल डेफिनेटली रिकमेंड यू गाइस टू वॉच मिस्टर रोबोट. ओके, इट्स वेरी गुड. ओके, एकदम वो नियरेस्ट गया है. एक्चुअल में क्या होता है, वो बिल्कुल नियरेस्ट गया है. डोंट गो फॉर साउथ इंडियन मूवीज और यू नो अदर मूवीज जहाँ पे हैकिंग दिखाया है, ठीक है. डोंट उतना भी आसान नहीं होता है, बट मिस्टर रोबोट जहां तक दिखाया है, दैट इज मैक्स, दैट रियल लाइफ वैसे ही होता है, ठीक है. नाउ एज यू कैन सी, एसएनएमपी में क्या होता है, यू कैन मेंशन थ्रेशोल्ड वैल्यूज, राइट. इफ एनी अटैकर कैन कॉन्फ़िगर दिस ट्रैप एंड मेक दिस थ्रेशोल्ड वैल्यू 200 डिग्रीज, ये प्रोसेसर जल के राख हो जाएगा, तब भी इसको इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलेगा. मे बी 1000 डिग्रीज, चलो 2000 डिग्रीज, ओके, ये प्रोसेसर जल के राख हो जाएगा, ठीक है. प्रोसेसर तो छोड़ ही दो, मे बी पूरे सर्वर स्टेशन में आग लग सकता है, ओके. एंड nothing will be known to the system admin because he might be there, he might not be there, right. He might be working remotely, ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना. So in that situation you get the idea that SNMP is really very much crucial, and SNMP generally runs on closed network, मतलब within the same network run करता है generally. SNMP public network में run नहीं करता.
Backup in similar type of servers only, like each company से backup is also there.
Backup अलग चीज है. Backup तो तुम्हारा क्या होगा कि like this same thing will be replicated real time in a different area, ठीक है. दैट इज बैकअप. सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ सर्विस रियल टाइम बैकिंग अप होता है, ताकि अगर एक चला गया तो दूसरा रहेगा, ठीक है. All right, so you get the idea. That is what SNMP is. Okay. You will learn about this one later on. जब तुम लोग ethical hacking जान जाओगे इसको कैसे exploit करना है, ठीक है? You have to know a little bit of in depth about SNMP, then you can perform this kind of attacks. All right. Anyway, fine. So that was your UDP scan, simple -su, right? Fine. Now there are other type of scans. Say for example, like we have already seen. Okay, port scan हम लोगों ने देख लिया है, -pn भी हम लोगों ने देख लिया है. Next we will look at. We can basically use -script, and what this script is. Okay, this is nothing but NSE, Nmap scripting engine. Okay, Nmap में अभी तक जो हम लोगों ने देखा है is finding out about open ports and services, right? Not about finding out vulnerabilities or known vulnerabilities, right? But with the help of -script, by using Nmap scripts, we can try to figure out different vulnerabilities as well. Okay, or maybe some kind of misconfiguration. Now misconfiguration भी हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं, ठीक है? Now what is this Nmap scripting engine? This is nothing. It is a bunch of script available जो कि Nmap use करता है, ठीक है? And we can basically use those scripts. Now if you go to your file location, and from there if you go to file system, and file system के अंदर में अगर तुम UASR में जाओगे, and from there if you go to share, there are many folders over here. If you just go down and search for Nmap, here we have Nmap folder. If you go inside Nmap, you will have a folder called scripts, and inside script you will find all the Nmap scripts that you can use. Different situation with different Nmap scripts are there. Okay, now all the scripts are written in Lua programming language. Okay, but don't worry, you don't have to learn Lua. ठीक है, Lua learn करने की बिल्कुल भी जरूरत नहीं है, ध्यान भी नहीं देना है कि वो क्या है, ठीक है? No need at all. All right. So यहाँ पे देखो काफी सारे स्क्रिप्ट्स हैं, अलग अलग चीज के लिए अलग अलग स्क्रिप्ट्स हैं. For each and everything you have different type of scripts. Okay. Now the scripts that you can use over here. So this is, for example, if you do nmap -sc अगर तुम करते हो, if you do -s capital C, it is gonna use a default script over here. ठीक है? इनमें से कोई भी स्क्रिप्ट को डिफॉल्ट ये पकड़ लेता है and then it moves on. Basically default scripts जो है, if you just go down. काफी सारे स्क्रिप्ट्स है, हर एक सीवी के लिए है. ओके फाइन. सो एनीवे, सो इफ यू डू -sc, तो ये यहाँ पे क्या होता है, इट इज गोना रन अ डिफॉल्ट स्क्रिप्ट. डिफॉल्ट स्क्रिप्ट में क्या होता है, इट इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ डिफरेंट नोन वल्नरेबिलिटी स्क्रिप्ट्स. ठीक है, कॉम्बिनेशन है, अलग अलग डिफरेंट वल्नरेबिलिटी के स्क्रिप्ट्स हैं, लेकिन वहां पे क्या होता है, बिल्कुल एकदम मतलब लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट. इट इज बेसिकली इट इज गोना फाइंड आउट द मोस्ट कॉमन वल्नरेबिलिटीज देयर. ओके, मोस्ट कॉमन, ठीक है, जो कि हार्डली तुमको मिलेगा रियल लाइफ में. So if we just perform a normal scan over here, you may not get anything like after doing an -sc. It is going to take some time though. ये वो पूरा scan करेगा जितने भी open ports हैं उसके लिए, ठीक है? Let me just change the IP address. Okay. हर एक ports के लिए वो अलग-अलग scan करेगा, ठीक है? Scan करने के बाद it is going to find out whether any kind of known vulnerabilities, बहुत ही commonly known vulnerabilities available है या नहीं, right? It will not give you a comprehensive result. It will overall tell you that yes, it may be vulnerable. Okay, एकदम complete result ये नहीं देगा. Okay, I'm not able to find any IP addresses, but don't worry. Let's figure out something. अगर कुछ मिलता है तो ठीक है. Otherwise, I will show you guys बाद में. Don't worry. बाद में तो हम लोग देखेंगे इसका scan results क्या आता है. Basically, scan results में कुछ नहीं है. It is gonna show you a list of known vulnerabilities. That's it. If it is vulnerable. Otherwise, it is not going to show you anything. Okay. Along with that, अगर तुमको कोई special script use करना है, generally what we use to find out vulnerability is script vuln. Okay, vuln, and then we can give the IP address. Okay, say for example, if I give an IP address, say 18.11.3.4.
To know all the script names for that.
No, yes. If you want to run vuln, then you can run vuln, but if you want to run a specific script, then you have to know the name. ओके जैसे कुछ कॉमन स्क्रिप्ट्स होते हैं, जैसे तुम्हारे SSL enum ciphers होते हैं, ठीक है. Then you have FTP anon to find out any kind of anonymous login is there in the FTP or not. ऐसे काफी अलग अलग सर्विसेज के लिए you have separate scripts. ओके एंड एक सर्विस में ऐसा नहीं कि लाइक एक ही स्क्रिप्ट है, एक सर्विस के अंडर में अलग अलग चीज को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए देयर आर डिफरेंट स्क्रिप्ट्स अवेलेबल. नॉट ओनली दैट, there are other scripts available in GitHub as well. If you want to add some functionalities, you can download the scripts from GitHub as well. Okay,
You can use multi-scripts to that.
yes, you can use multiple scripts at the same time as well. You can give multiple arguments to the scripts as well. Definitely you can do. All right, ठीक है. सो ऐसा ही कुछ तुम्हारा आता है, ठीक है, आउटपुट. और अगर कुछ vulnerability निकलता है तो ये नीचे मेरे को दिखाएगा about this VULN scan. All right,
That's CB 2011 to 2000.
which one? This one. ये कुछ नहीं है, ये एक पर्टिकुलर vulnerability DOS अटैक हो रहा है कि नहीं वो चेक कर रहा है, nothing else. Okay. Keep in mind all CVEs are not vulnerables. Okay, so you have to search for exploit. Now ये क्या होता है कि like vulnerability होता है लेकिन exploits available नहीं होता है. If you have vulnerability but you do not have exploits, कोई फायदा नहीं. Okay,
The best resource to get experts.
exploits you have Google best.
Google.
एकदम गूगल, क्योंकि ये तुमको कहाँ मिलेगा कहना बहुत मुश्किल है, ठीक है. आइदर यू कैन देखो दो मेजर चीज होता है. एक यू कैन फाइंड आउट ऑन एक्सप्लॉइट डीबी. एक्सप्लॉइट डीबी नाम का एक वेबसाइट होता है. लाइक इफ यू गो टू द ब्राउजर इन काली, you will find the exploit db over here. You can see exploit db. If you guys can see exploit db, you can just click on there. It is basically a collection of, it's a database of different exploits. All right, so यहाँ से अगर तुम्हारा कोई भी like if you wanna find out about a exploit, you can find it out over here. और next option is GitHub. GitHub में भी काफी exploits available होते हैं, ठीक है. So you have to figure them out. Like for example, the latest vulnerability that came in the market, Folina exploit. Okay, if I search it in GitHub, I can basically find it out. You can see here we have it, Folina. You guys know about Folina? Folina पता है क्या है? ठीक है, चलो आज गूगल करना Folina क्या है, ठीक है, आज गूगल करना. Okay, it's a Microsoft based vulnerability which will allow you to take over the complete system.
First, you have to check that Polynar script is applicable or not.
All the things are available in GitHub, no worries. ठीक है, सब कुछ वहाँ पे अवेलेबल रहता है. अच्छा, इन द मीन टाइम while we are explaining things over here, मैं यहाँ पे एक और चीज मैं तुम लोग को बताना चाहता हूँ, that I am also going to need Windows 7, okay, as a lab, okay, because we are gonna perform the attack over there, and we are also gonna need Windows 10, क्योंकि मैं दोनों जगह पे ही तुम लोग को अटैक करना दिखाऊंगा, ठीक है. Okay, in your VirtualBox or VMware, whatever you guys wish, you guys can use. Okay. Now for Windows 7, I will definitely recommend go for VirtualBox, because I will be also using VirtualBox as well, because Windows 7 तुम्हारा सही से काम नहीं करता है. एक सेकंड, ये बोल सी Windows 7 आसे तुम्हारा करो इंस्टॉल करो. सर्वर चलेगी तो आईपी डालो ना.
Windows 7 you can bypass the Windows password and I from the best.
Windows 11 हो, Windows 10 हो, हाँ Windows 11 हो. Windows है?
हाँ, 7.
चलिए तो चलिए अगर आईपी डाल देते हो and close the firewall.
ওটা এবারে পাসওয়ার্ড দাও কি জানেন
वही तो ये ओके फुल पीस चला. जस्ट अ मोमेंट गाइस, चलो थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं कि विंडोज को स्कैन करके डिफरेंट रिजल्ट्स मेरे को क्या मिलते हैं. राइट, वी विल फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फोकस ऑन विंडोज 7. Now the thing that we are going to see over here was applicable in Windows 7, Windows XP and Windows Vista.
This thing is not fixed now.
It's fixed. It's fixed. Okay. After Windows 10 के बाद ही ये फिक्स हो चुका है, ठीक है. Up to Windows 8, 8.1 it was there, but after that it was fixed.
So which tool is used for bypassing firewalls?
Varies करता है, firewall to firewall डिपेंड करता है, उसका रूल्स क्या है, क्या हो सकता
Detect the
है.
type of firewall.
You can detect the type of firewall, but you cannot detect the rules there. The problem what you have to do hit and trial. You have to send different kind of packet and see how the firewall is acting. Depending upon that, you can configure a particular packet which you can send to bypass the firewall. Depend करता है, but every firewall is bypassable. Don't worry. हर एक एंटीवायरस बाईपास होता है, हर एक फायरवॉल बाईपास होता है. और ये अलग बात है कि मैं यहाँ पे तुम लोगों को वो दिखा नहीं सकता हूँ. 10.21, right? So let's do an nmap scan over there. 192.168.10.21. 10.21. Here we have it. 10.21. Here we have our normal nmap scan being performed on a Windows 7 machine. ठीक है? तो देखते हैं इसका आउटपुट क्या आता है. So as we can see here, we have the output, right? Certain services are running over there, right? Obviously, we can perform a -sb scan over there. 192.168.10.21. Simple version scan to figure out the different versions of services running over there. As you can see, version scan does take time. Yes. Now for this, if you guys want to perform this at home, okay, so I will recommend don't worry. ठीक है, तुम चाहो तो Windows 7 इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो. The ISO will be available. ठीक है, ड्राइव में आज अवेलेबल हो जाएगा ISO Windows 7 का. You guys can install it in your VirtualBox or VMware. I will recommend install it in VirtualBox. Okay, VirtualBox here, VirtualBox में install करो, कोई issue नहीं है. Once you have installed it, keep it in bridged. Firewall बंद रखना, and then you can perform this attack. ठीक है?
From Linux or into Windows.
Windows. Okay, nonetheless ये टाइम ले रहा है तो मैं इसको काट रहा हूँ यहाँ पे सर्विस स्कैन में. Okay, let's do one thing. Sudo let's run nmap
So when you show that host is down,
host is down जब उसको ping request पे result नहीं मिलेगा. Okay, so I'm gonna do a no ping scan over here. Okay, and then what we are gonna do, we are gonna do something like ---- script equals to view and let's try to figure out the vulnerabilities in your Windows 7 192.168.10.21. Okay, so this scan is gonna give us, okay, wait, let me just give another stuff, that is -v. -v is for verbose. So ये क्या करेगा, हर एक स्टेप मेरे को दिखाते हुए जाएगा. ठीक है, now while this scan is getting performed, यहाँ पे एक चीज दिख लो guys, you can basically figure out an operating system कि like कौन सा operating system चल रहा है on that machine. Okay, by using the same command nmap -O and then you can give the IP address over here. What this is going to do, this is going to detect the operating system that is running on that particular IP address. Now how this operating system gets detected guys, by using what we call as a TTL, time to live. ये TTL क्या है? TTL कुछ नहीं है, ये देखो. Whenever we do a ping, say अगर मैं कहीं पे भी ping कर रहा हूँ, say google.com I am pinging. Okay, now when I am pinging this thing, we can see that here we have certain thing called TTL. Now this TTL, time to live, this is gonna be in each and every packet, चाहे वो ICMP हो, TCP हो या UDP हो, कोई भी पैकेट हो, हर एक पैकेट में TTL होता है. इसका मतलब क्या है? टाइम टू लिव का मतलब है कितनी देर तक the receiving end is gonna hold that packet. What do I mean by that? Say for example, ये तुम Facebook खोल रहे हो या फिर what any kind of communication that you are doing, that data is coming from other resources to your machine, right? Now अगर say for example Facebook खोलने के बाद मैंने काट दिया, ठीक है, अगर ये टाइम टू लिव नहीं रहता तो क्या होता, जितना भी डेटा आया है तुम्हारे मशीन में सारा सेव हो जाता, तुम्हारा मेमोरी फुल हो जाता. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? व्हाट इज दिस TTL? TTL क्या होता है कि कितने सेकंड बाद जो डेटा नहीं चाहिए, ऑल दोस विल गेट erased or deleted. Okay, so that is what TTL is. Now TTL देख करके we can basically figure out what kind of operating system it is using. If it is 64 or less than 64, then Linux has been used. From here I can imagine the google.com is being hosted on 59. That means it is a Linux based system के ऊपर hosted है अभी google.com. Okay. If your TTL is 128 and more, then it is a Windows based machine. Okay. And if your TTL is more than 256 या फिर 200 253 I think 253 से अगर ज्यादा है then it is Solaris operating system. Okay, तो उसके 3 से you can figure out what operating system you are running. ठीक है, that also can be found out. देखो वर्जन जैसे यहाँ पे तुमको दिखाएगा, say for example Windows 7 it will show you Windows 8 तो यहाँ पे और दे के रखा है, ठीक है, but यहाँ पर now this is confirmed that it is running on Windows. Okay, इतना यहाँ पे मेरे पास confirm हो चुका है, ठीक है, and it's not running any of the Windows 10 or anything like that, right? It is either running Windows 7 8.1 phone or it is running on Vista, right? Now if you have found out that it is running Windows 7, okay, there are scripts to figure out what exact operating system it is running. Okay, so if you have found out that it is Windows that is running, we can basically go ahead and run this particular command nmap --script equals to smb2.os. I think एक सेकेंड इसका रहता है I think it is smb2 os discovery. We can just say smb2 os discovery 192.168 10.21. No, not this one. I think hyphen है यहाँ पर. It is going to use smb2, I think. Wait, I think smb. Okay, smb os discovery. Let's see what we get. I think that is the name of the script. Just check it out. Yes, so as you can see, smb os discovery is the script which will give you the exact version of the operating system that is running. Okay, along with the name of the PC का नाम क्या है, each and everything you guys can see. System uptime कितना है, system time अभी वहाँ पे कितना चल रहा है, all this stuff. Through this you can basically locate where this system is, right, by looking at the system time. Correct. All right, so as you can see, अगर मेरे को मालूम चलेगा कि Windows है, we can run this particular script. You can see this is a part of your NSE. Okay, smb os discovery. You can find it out over here. अगर तुम smb थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे सर्च करोगे, ये HTTP है. Let me just go a little bit down. ये देखो smb enum smb flood है ना, यहाँ पर कहाँ गया? Oh, ये रहा smb os discovery, right? Which will basically figure out what version of operating system you are running. Okay, so we basically utilized your NSE, that is a scripting engine over here, right? Got it, guys? अब देखो यहाँ पे देखो, we had run this VLN scan, right? VLN scan run करने के बाद on Windows 7 it did find out a particular vulnerability. So अगर मैं नीचे की तरफ जाऊँ, you can see that it is vulnerable to MS17010. Okay, and what kind of vulnerabilities? Remote code execution. Remote code execution का मतलब क्या है? I can remotely execute any command on that machine. Okay, which means that I can basically have full control on that machine, right? That means remote code execution. It has a vulnerability in normal Windows 7 system without the firewall. Even if a defender is running over there, is MS17010 vulnerability, right? So as we can see here, we have the vulnerability. Now we will learn about how to exploit the vulnerability in our next class. आज जो है हम लोग we will mainly focus on the scanning part. Okay. Now this is how basically the approach happens. You figure out a vulnerability and then you move towards exploiting it. We will see that how we can do that in the next class. Okay.
The location of the system you can get from the IP.
Yes, definitely. Public IP अगर मेरे पास है, then वहाँ से तो मिल ही जाएगा. SMB2 OS discovery करोगे, इसको system time दिखा देगा. वैसे भी तुम वहाँ से भी ये कर सकते हो कि कहाँ पे है वो, निकाला जा सकता है. Fine. Right. Now इसके बाद basically, so these are all the different options or all the different scans that can be performed through Nmap. Alright, इसके बाहर भी काफी सारे scans हैं, ठीक है, it has no end kind of, ठीक है, जो भी इसके बाहर जितने भी scans हैं सारे के सारे तुम्हारे system specific होंगे. Mute. Alright, so what do you have to do? देखो इतने इसके बाद जितने भी स्कैन है सारे तुम्हारे सर्विस स्पेसिफिक होंगे, जैसे SSH है, टेलनेट है, FTP है, ठीक है. तो if there is a FTP running on a particular device, we can check whether there is an FTP anonymous login. Anonymous login मतलब without knowing username password, you can log in by using anonymous. Username is anonymous, password is anonymous. Okay, and FTP will allow you to log in. Okay, ऐसे भी हम लोग चीज देखेंगे बाद में, so don't worry. Alright, now if you want to do a little bit of more research in Nmap, then you have a pretty much comprehensive source. That means अगर तुम थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे Nmap documentation search करोगे, ये बहुत बड़ा है, so be careful, काफी बड़ा होता है. So if you go to Nmap documentation, you basically you can click on the book. They will basically give you the book for free. It is a PDF book. Okay, so इसमें से जैसे ये वाला book होता है, right? This book you guys can get. It's a very good book. Okay, and from there you will basically get the documentation of everything, or you can just click on docs. Here you have Nmap reference guide. You can click on English, and here are all the different things that you can go through. बहुत सारे चीजें हैं जो मन में you guys can do. Say for example, if I go to host discovery, you can see how the host discovery happens and how they figure out the number of hosts. Okay, number of hosts. अच्छा, host discovery से याद आया, हम लोग एक और चीज यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं. That is, if you just want to figure out, जैसे नेट डिस्कवर में है ना कि नेट डिस्कवर चला दिया, पूरा जितना भी IP एड्रेसेस है ऑनलाइन सारा लिस्ट आ गया. That can be performed using Nmap as well. Okay, Nmap-SN. Okay, SN, small s, small n. Okay, you can give the IP address range over here. What this is going to do, this is not going to send any kind of scanning. It is not going to do any kind of port scanning. It's just going to list out all the different IP addresses that are alive. Okay, so इसको हम लोग एक काम करते हैं. Let me just run this with a verbose. Oh, sorry. Okay, as you can see, scanning 255 hosts is going to perform the scan and let me know how many devices are there. Now, obviously, performing any kind of scan using Nmap, like performing this kind of scan using Nmap is going to be time taking. Okay, ये time लेता है, ये देखो आया है, ठीक है. और host down, ठीक है. जो host up है उसके बारे में बताया है, बाकी सब host down. You can see all the data here, right? Okay, all right. समझ में आ रहा है, ठीक है. Let's say for example,
the host down is not connected to internet.
Yes,
But
not connected with this network. ये IP एड्रेस के साथ कोई भी डिवाइस कनेक्टेड नहीं है. That is why host down. Alright. अच्छा, एक और चीज guys. Now there are two ways to save your Nmap output. You can either do something like Nmap. Let me just do a normal scan, say 21. You can do something like doing a greater than sign and giving a name of your text file. Say मैं यहाँ पे दे रहा हूँ scan.txt. You can do something like this. Okay. So ls, here you have scan.txt. If you just cat scan.txt, you can see, अच्छा host is up. देखो 0 host is up. ठीक है. कितना था उसका IP? 21 था ना? अच्छा देखते हैं. Down हो गया क्या? Let's see. This time I have used -pn. Let's see. Whenever you see that a host is down, okay, you can check it with -pn. Sometimes they may block the ping, but if we perform the scan, maybe it will not block. So one of the option is that this one, let it finish, then we will see. One of the option is this one, or अच्छा चलो हो गया है यहाँ पर. Okay, so as you can see, -pn देने के बाद आ गया, ठीक है. देखो पिंग स्कैन किया, ये मेरे नॉर्मल पिंग स्कैन किया, it is showing me that 0 host is up, right? I did -pn, here I have the output. All right, sometimes this happens. Okay, So use -pn. Okay. अच्छा, so ये एक option है to save your scan results, or you can do something like this: nmap -pn 192.168.10.21. Okay. इसके बाहर हम लोग एक और ऑप्शन देंगे, that is -o capital N. Sorry, give the name of your file, say ports.txt. Okay, now what this -on is gonna do, -on is gonna scan the through nmap, and then it is gonna save those output in ports.txt. ठीक है, same stuff है. दोनों में मेजर डिफरेंस क्या है? डिफरेंस ये है कि लाइक इफ यू लुक एट द फर्स्ट वन, you do not get a scan results in the console, right? You will get the scan results in the txt file. लेकिन यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि कंसोल में मेरे को दिखा रहा है एंड txt फाइल में भी रहेगा. ठीक है, so if you cat ports.txt, okay, you can see same output, right?
If you don't give the file name, then it will only show.
It will only show, it will give you an error. You have to give the file. Okay, mandatory. So you have to give the file name, right? So in that way you can save your scan results, okay, in nmap. Okay guys, अच्छा, और कुछ ऑप्शंस के बारे में मैं यहाँ पे बात करना चाहता हूँ.
So what did ON did just?
क्या?
On this ON?
ON is your for saving the output in text file. Okay. अच्छा, यहाँ पे कुछ और ऑप्शंस हैं जो मैं यहाँ पे बताना चाहता हूँ. देखो, एक रहता है से nmap. अच्छा चलो मैं पहले रूट यूजर बन जाता हूँ. यहाँ पे रूट यूजर है ऑलरेडी. अच्छा चलो यही इसका यूज कर लेते हैं रूट यूजर. या सो यहाँ पे कुछ और ऑप्शंस, जैसे से फॉर एग्जांपल nmap वी कैन एक्चुअली डू व्हाट वी कॉल एज अ अच्छा देखो, स्कैन को हम लोग स्लो कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, nmap is generally considered a noisy software. Noisy मतलब whenever you perform nmap scan, the type of packet that gets sent, if anybody is listening to it, listening मतलब अगर कोई incoming packet को log कर रहा है, then anyone monitoring that will be able to understand that someone is running nmap on my IP address or on my network. ठीक है, इससे बचने के काफी सारे ऑप्शंस हैं. एक रहता है कि like you can basically do an -f, which will basically fragment the packets. You can do something like -f and then you can give 192.168.10.21. What this scan is going to do, this scan is going to fragment the packets. जो normal IP पैकेट का साइज है उसको फर्दर तोड़ देता है. ठीक है, तब क्या होता है कि लाइक जो पैकेट सेंड किए जाते हैं they sometimes do not get registered or sometimes they may not get detected by the firewall, right? अब देखो यहाँ पे if you give -f, then the packet get fragmented further. ये एक ऑप्शन है. Another क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग, you can slow down the scanning. Slow down the scanning मतलब nmap जैसे ही करोगे ना, multiple packets are getting there, right? Multiple packets are going there. Now whenever these packets are getting logged there, what is going to happen? Let me just show you. Whenever we are performing an nmap scan, ये मेरा nmap है, okay? Multiple packets are going there, right? Multiple packets are going there with very less amount of delay, right? Now if there is a log that is basically logging all the incoming packets, anyone reading this log will be able to understand that it is coming from nmap. Okay, what we can do, we can delay this time frame between packets by using an option called -t. -t option क्या है? -t5 है which is fastest, okay, and -t0 है which is slowest. Okay, -t का मतलब क्या है? -t5 it will send it with very less interval between the packets, right? -t0 क्या करता है? -t0 large interval of packets. Obviously if you have large interval of packets, chances of getting detected is going to be very less, very less, because millions of packets are getting registered there at the same time, right? Now also keep in mind, -t0 is totally impractical. Why? Because -t0 is so slow that it's going to take you 48 hours or maybe more to scan a particular IP address. It is that slow. ठीक है?
You can even use a range between 0 to 5, but these two are fixed.
These two are fixed. No, you can use the range. -T3 कर सकते हो, -T4 कर सकते हो. -T5 is the fastest one. By default, it runs -T3. Okay, -T2 slower, -T1 slower, -T0 much slower, slowest. ठीक है? -T5 is fastest. Whatever you use, slow करता जाएगा इसको. Default T3. ठीक है? Alright, you can perform this scan like this. जैसे देखो, nmap you can do -T5. Okay, you can give the IP address over here. Scanning all 35, 36, all the ports over here. You can see -T5. Here you get the result. You do -T2, 192.168, 10.21, and it's gonna take huge amount of time. देखो, ये तुम्हारा 26 seconds में it showed you the output over here almost, right? But if you look at T2, you can see it is gonna take 14 minutes to scan the same IP address, right? जितना, और ये बढ़ता जाएगा, ये इतना कम यहाँ पे कम दिख रहे हो, ये एक टाइम आएगा जब फिर से बढ़ेगा. ओके, सो यू गेट दैट. सो इससे कम करोगे और भी टाइम इंक्रीज होगा, T0 करोगे और भी टाइम इंक्रीज होगा, राइट? ओके, another type of scan out there is called an aggressive scan. Nmap, how we can do that? Nmap -A, which is called an aggressive scan. I will tell you about it. 192.168. First of all, let us look at the results. Then I will explain of aggressive scan. I will also be sending a cheat sheet for Nmap, okay, so that you guys can practice. Okay, along with that I will show you guys where to practice all this stuff. ठीक है, मैं तुम लोग को लैब भी बता दूंगा कि लैब कहाँ से एक्सेस करना है. ऑनलाइन लैब भी अवेलेबल है which you can access and practice. Okay, ठीक है. Aggressive scan. It's almost done. Let us look at the results first, then I will explain what this does. सब कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है, जितना इंफॉर्मेशन रहेगा तुमको टारगेट के बारे में, the more you can perform things, attacks हो, कुछ भी हो.
How to check this one?
Which one?
This how many damage remaining?
Oh, hit enter. एंटर मारोगे तो ये मेरे को दिखाता जाएगा कि कितना टाइम बाकी है स्कैन खत्म करने में.
If the victim is aware of all the attacks and experts, then also easy accurate.
वरना हम लोग अभी तक जिंदा क्यों हैं? Right. So there are देखो ये तो तुम्हारा just training है, but once you start doing things in real life, no. Keep in mind these things are kept vulnerable intentionally. Labs जो होते हैं, these are kept vulnerable intentionally, right? When you start targeting a real life target, obviously they will have as much protection as possible. Not only that, if you are targeting, let me consider a web page. जब तुम लोग वेब पेज हैकिंग यहाँ पे देखोगे, मैं मैक्सिमम मैं तुम लोग को मैनुअली पहले दिखाऊंगा कि कहाँ पे, समझाऊंगा कि कहाँ पे अटैक हो रहा है, ऑल दिस स्टफ, एंड देन आई विल बी शोइंग यू ऑन लैब्स, राइट? बिकॉज एट दिस स्टेज लैब्स इज ओके टू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? रियल लाइफ में क्या होगा, ऑब्वियसली द डेवलपर्स विल ट्राई देयर हार्ट एंड सोल बेस्ट not to have any kind of attacks, right? Not to have any kind of vulnerabilities. Still we can find out. So you can imagine, okay? Still निकल जाता है, ठीक है?
Ethical hackers are also exist in the companies also for like attacking their own system. They can say from the outsider hacker.
हाँ, ठीक है. हम जो मैं करता हूँ यहाँ पे, ठीक है, ट्रेनिंग कभी-कभी मैं तुम लोग को कभी-कभी लेता हूँ, ठीक है, मेनली इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग में लेता हूँ, and most of my time is spent in VAPT of other companies or maybe our companies and all those stuff.
Finding out what like any outsider is trying to hack or not.
Yeah. Not only in our company, also in our other companies as well.
Because you are teaching, a lot of students will be trying to try.
Obviously. Now, obviously, whatever I am showing you guys, this is just the beginning. Okay, things go way deeper, way deeper. Okay, you can see here we have the output results, right? You can see that it has also performed a version scan. Okay, and you can also see that it has also performed an -SC scan. This is the result of an -SC scan. Okay, -SC scan. We can see the output of the operating system that is running, right? So aggressive scan is a combination of different scans like -SV, -O, -SC, and -T5. Okay, all these scans combined will perform -A, that is aggressive scan. We can see the complete output over here. Okay, complete output is over here. You can see. ठीक है, क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है, देखो एसएमडी के ऊपर पूरा काम किया गया है यहाँ पर. Okay, each of these things have their separate individual meanings, right? Now at this point of time you may not be able to understand each of these things because some of the things are unknown to you, but if you continue along with this cybersecurity field, you guys will be able to know what all these things mean. यहाँ पे एक और vulnerability है, that is message signing is enabled but not required. This is also a vulnerability, but it can be exploited in a different environment, not in this environment. Anyway, so यहाँ पे देखो मेरे को vulnerability मेरे को दिखाया नहीं है because it's an aggressive scan. If you perform a -" script view ln, then it is going to show you that it is vulnerable to that particular attack, right? So यहाँ पे obviously along with aggressive scan, you can basically add a -" script view ln. Okay, so after that you will find all this information along with क्या vulnerability है वहाँ पे. Got it guys? समझ में आया? ठीक है? So that is your Nmap aggressive scan.
Know that it is a Windows 7 browser.
Yeah, obviously we can. Next step will be to find out what services are running over here. I will talk about the approach. Don't worry. कि कैसे आगे बढ़ना है.
What are you using browser?
कौन सा?
In the for running.
ब्राउजर तो यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं. কি হচ্ছে বল?
যেটা আমরা ইনস্টলেশন কানেক্ট করব না, মানে এখান থেকে রিমোটলি
হ্যাঁ সেটা পরে, এখন না. আমি তো জাস্ট নরমালি nmap দিয়ে দেখাচ্ছি, স্ক্যান করছি, ঠিক আছে? ওটা তো নেক্সট ক্লাসে আমরা দেখব যে অ্যাটাকটা কি করে পসিবল হয়, ঠিক আছে? Like we have already found out the vulnerability, right? MS17010. We will use that to log in. We will use that to gain access to the Windows 7 system. Okay? And अगर वो क्यों कर पा रहे? Because firewall बंद है. Unfortunately, MS17010 के ऐसा अटैक है, firewall अगर बंद रहेगा तो ही हो सकता है, firewall on रहेगा तो नहीं हो पाएगा. Okay? It is like that. ठीक है? अब क्या ही कर सकते हैं?
You cannot bypass that firewall.
No, on this attack you cannot. इस अटैक के लिए नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन firewall अगर on है, you can actually perform the scan by bypassing the firewall. Definitely you can. लेकिन वो जो अटैक है MS17010, you cannot bypass it and go inside. Okay? Obviously होगा.
अलग अटैक से पहले पास.
दूसरा अब देखो मैं बता रहा हूँ. Ethical hacking जो है, it does not follow a single line of flow. Okay, जैसे होता है ना कि like एक problem दिया गया है, you have to solve it, and there is only one way to solve it. Okay, if you are unable to solve it, then you think that something might be wrong in my process. Do I need to develop my process or anything like that? But that is not ethical hacking. What happens in cybersecurity? Like if you have a problem, there are multiple solutions to it. Okay, if one solution doesn't work, you have to find out others. Say for example, firewall है, high end ये antivirus है, ठीक है? चलो मैं consider कर लेता हूँ कि बहुत अच्छा system security है. What are the ways to hack it? Obviously, you cannot just use any kind of vulnerability to log in, get in there, because there are firewalls, there are other things, other parameters जो कि तुम्हारे इस अटैक को ब्लॉक कर देंगे. So what you can do? The most vulnerable thing in a network or in any environment is human. ठीक है, इंसान सबसे ज़्यादा vulnerable होते हैं. यही इसी कोर्स में हम लोग देखेंगे how you can perform social engineering, how you can basically create a payload, जिसको हम लोग चलती भाषा में वायरस कहते हैं ना. How you can do that, and you can ask the user to interact with it. The moment he does, you gain control to his whole system. Okay, without the requirement of any firewall, without the requirement of any defender, any antivirus, चाहिए ही नहीं कुछ.
Okay. So we can make the user to turn off the firewall by saying
Yes.
file, and it is having the requirement to turn off the.
Yes,
firewall.
exactly. Cracked version of software डाउनलोड किए हो ना, वहाँ कभी-कभी लिखा होता है ना, डिफेंडर फायरवॉल बंद कर देना, वरना क्रैक काम नहीं करेगा. अच्छी चीजें है ना. So we can create a crack over here.
So you can merge a code with any photo or anything, like any document.
Yes, you can.
If you download, then it will get in the background.
Yes, yes, yes.
And send you the address.
All right. So देखो यहाँ पे net bias name भी आ रहा है ARIPC, okay, with along with the MAC addresses now. All right. Fine. So that was all about Nmap, guys, and that was all about your manual scan. ठीक है. Now let us talk about कि ये मैं practice कहाँ पे करूँगा, ठीक है. एक चीज तुम लोग जो कर सकते हो, if you guys have enough amount of RAM and enough time, then what you can do, you can basically install Windows 7 in your machine. Windows 7 ISO will be available in your drive, so don't worry, in your machine, and perform all these attacks manually one by one. Or I will recommend that you use a particular online lab. Okay, ध्यान से देखो guys इसको देखो. It is very good area for practice, ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा area है practice करने के लिए. Just search for TryHackMe. Okay. TryHackMe. You will find out the link over here. Okay. Go there. Rather do this in your machine. Okay. If you have a Kali Linux or anything like that, I have a dummy account over here. Let me just log in. So let's go to TryHackMe. So here we have TryHackMe. We can just click on this one. And this is how it is going to come up. So if you guys do not have a account over here, then definitely I will recommend, highly recommend, that you get a account created over here, sign it up. Okay. Once you have signed up, go ahead and log in over here. So I'm going to log in into my dummy account. Okay. I forgot my dummy account password, I think. इतने सारे accounts. कभी-कभी मैं अपना original account ही भूल जाता हूँ. Okay, stairs.
So this course is good. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 लेना इसका.
बहुत अच्छा है.
Half complete.
देखो. So this is how it looks basically. ठीक है. Once you have logged in, okay. After logging in, I will recommend go to learn. Okay. Go to search. And यहाँ पर search करो Nmap. Okay, you will get a complete lab about on Nmap. Okay, here you can find the lab. Okay, online guys, सबको समझ में आ रहा है ना? Now you can click on this Nmap over here, and here we have the lab. Okay, now this lab cannot be accessed directly. For this you need to download a VPN connection. ठीक है? उसके लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे? यहाँ पे जो प्रोफाइल बनाए हो, अपने पिक्चर पे क्लिक करना. यहाँ पे देखना, you will get an option called access. All right, just click on this access, and here you have the selection कि कौन सा सर्वर का VPN तुमको यूज करना है. ठीक है? You can download this configuration file. Okay, once this has been downloaded, you can just go ahead, open the terminal over here wherever you have downloaded this, and in the terminal just run the command sudo open VPN and whatever the name of your VPN file is. Okay, give the password, and soon you will see यहाँ पे तुम्हारा आएगा initialization sequence completed. If this comes, that means your VPN is connected now. ठीक है?
What will be the command for accessing the same file in CMD?
CMD same ऐसा ही होगा.
Sudo, but they are not accepting.
CMD में Windows पे क्यों करना है? Windows पे करने जाओगे तो तुमको configuration ये करना पड़ेगा, import करना पड़ेगा. You have to first of all install OpenVPN, then you have to import the file, OpenVPN file, then you can run it. Windows से मत करो. I will recommend that you use Kali over here, Kali or Parrot, whatever. Now once that is done, you can see that initialization sequence is completed. Okay, and you are connected with the VPN. You can check your IP address like this. If you do an ifconfig, देखना यहाँ पे एक और इंटरफेस आ गया है, TUN0. Okay, that is tunnel IP address. Okay, you had before that ET80 and the loopback. Along with that, you have TUN0 now, which is tunnel interface, right? And here you have your IP address that is connected with the TryHackMe. Okay, now you can access any lab inside TryHackMe. Okay, so say for example, मेरे को अगर Nmap वाला lab access करना है, so ये मेरा Nmap है, Nmap वाला lab है, ठीक है? Here you will have the option to start the machine, ठीक है? So you can just click on the start machine and give it 1 minute of time, and it will show you the IP address of the machine where you have to perform different kind of Nmap scan. And यहाँ पे नीचे की तरफ अगर तुम लोग आओगे, you can find different tasks that are there that you guys can perform. Okay, go through these tasks. Okay, I will always recommend that go through whatever theory they have explained here. Try to understand this stuff. जो भी मैंने यहाँ पे explain किया है आपके बारे में वही सब है यहाँ पर और कुछ नहीं, additional कुछ नहीं है. You guys can go through different options. As you can see, different questions are getting asked over here which you need to answer. Okay, देखो different चीजें हैं यहाँ पर. different scans के बारे में बताया गया है, firewall evasions के बारे में बताया गया है. Still it is pretty, मतलब यहाँ पे जो evasion के बारे में बताया गया है, it is just the basic one. Don't think that it can be used for bypassing modern firewalls. Okay, but you can do this. Now after that, once you have done with the conclusion, you will get a congratulations, you have completed this lab and all that, right? So I will definitely recommend you guys to complete this lab as soon as possible, maybe by today itself. Maybe by today or by tomorrow. I want the completion of this lab in the WhatsApp group. ठीक है, WhatsApp group में मेरे को सबका ये इसका completion का picture चाहिए. ठीक है, completion करोगे यहाँ पे congratulations लिख करके आएगा, picture उठाओ डालो WhatsApp में. ठीक है, I want this for every one of you. ठीक है, is it understood guys? समझ में आ रहा है ना क्या करना है? तो Nmap lab को access करो, complete it and paste the screenshot in the WhatsApp group. Okay, and as you can see here we have the IP address. Okay, you can use this IP address to perform different kind of scans. Okay, with Nmap, right? Once you have done, तुम यहाँ पे add 1 hour भी कर सकते हो if this 1 hour is not enough for you. और अगर तुमको terminate करना है, you can just click on this terminate and the machine will stop. Okay, excellent lab for performing Nmap scans. Okay, so it is mandatory guys, please do it. ठीक है, क्योंकि इसके बाद हम लोग एक्सटेंसिवली Nmap हम लोग देखेंगे. ठीक है, एक्सटेंसिवली Nmap को यूज करेंगे. एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई एम नॉट गोना एक्सप्लेन ऑल दिस स्टफ अगेन. ऑलराइट, ठीक है गाइस, सबको समझ में आया ना ऑनलाइन?
Now how will you turn on the VPN?
Which one? VPN बंद करना है? Control C बंद कर दिया ऑलरेडी. Just hit Control C and the VPN will get closed. Okay. Alright guys, so that will be all for today. यहाँ तक क्लियर है सबको? Nmap क्लियर हुआ guys? बोइशा की Nmap क्लियर होइछे? Rest of the guys who are online, guys. Balaram, is it clear? Abhijit, clear?
Yes.
Okay, and clear cut idea what to do. Okay, so do practice your Nmap lab from TryHackMe and take a screenshot of your completion and post it in the WhatsApp group. All right, ठीक है guys, तो यहीं तक ही रखते हैं हम आज. In the next class we'll be see how you can leverage the scan results and perform different kind of attacks. All right, we'll be discussing many different kind of attacks. Okay, ठीक है, चलो, bye bye guys, thank you.